Assalamualaikum and good morning to all. So welcome to our requirements elicitation workshop. So as being, I think it's being informed over and over again. Today we will have this requirement elicitation workshop with our industry partner. Okay. So I would like to welcome to our industry partner from Etiqa. Today we have 8 of our representatives from Etiqa. Mr. Ryan, Mr. Chia Zichat, Mr. Huzaifa, Mr. Tan Jing Hong, Mrs. Nur Amalina, Mr. Gudev Singh, Mr. Lau Kit Yan, and Mrs. Jessie, Huang PE. Okay. So all these Etiqa team will help us in giving the industry problem. So welcome and thank you very much for agreeing to spend your weekend with us this morning. All right. So basically, this collaboration objective is part of our software requirement engineering course, where we hope by this collaboration, this can support our work-based learning, to expose our students, especially to industry engagement, and also to real-world requirements elicitation activities, rather than we go by the textbook. We bring this experience, real experience to students on how we actually in industry we perform this requirement engineering. And also this collaboration objective is also to promote collaborative learning between industry and academia. Okay. And where the industry will provide our students with real world case studies that somehow replicate from industry practice. That is our hope from this collaboration. So basically, for this collaboration, will run in 3 phases. Today is the first phase where our industry partner will share their domain insights, the challenges that they face, and based on this, the student will try to gather elicit requirements during the brainstorming session later in this workshop. This will be the online this morning. Then the other 2 phases will be performed offline in offline session, where the industry partner will provide the feedback on the findings of the students from this morning session. And the third phase, the industry partner will then review and validate their developed high fidelity prototype to ensure that the findings align with the real business needs. Okay, so that this will be the three phases that we will go through based from this collaboration. So this is an overview of the overall of how these projects that the students will go through. So today is basically today input will really I would say very critical for them to finalize for the first phase of their project, where the first phase of the project the deliverable is the user requirements document. This is to document whatever findings that they gain from today workshop. Then from there, they will move on to the second phase, where they will develop the SRS to model all the requirements according to the techniques that they have been exposed in the class. Then the last bit is on the development of the mock-up prototype. Okay, so this is the I would say the blueprint yeah, of the project yeah, along with their deliverables. So today workshop will have these three objectives. Basically, first to understand the stakeholder. This in our case is the Etiqa, where the basically Etiqa has given us the write up in advance, where we have distributed to the students. So during this workshop, the students will further validate or further asking lah, yeah, for further information, yeah, or validate their understanding and so on. Yeah, that will be the first objective. Then the second is to understand further the Etiqa eMoney business narrative and system workflow, which will be further shared by Etiqa team. The third one is to engage in discussion on customer journey, especially for the eMoney platform. So this will be our agenda. Okay. So after this, I will call upon Mr. Gurdev Singh to give an overview and recap of Etiqa business narrative. Then Mr. Gurdev will pass the baton to the team partner, Mr. Chia, where Mr. Chia will basically detail up on the workflow discussion on the customer journey. After that, we will proceed with the Q&A and brainstorming session. This is where we hope that there will be an active Q&A and brainstorming session between the students and the Etiqa team. Then we hope that we can be able to wrap this session by 12 p.m. Okay, so this will be our agenda, roughly our agenda for today. All right. So without further ado, I would like to call upon Mr. Gudev to give an overview and recap of Etiqa's business narrative. So I pass baton to you, Mr. Gudev.
Okay. Thank you, Puan. I hope everybody can hear me. Am I clear? Audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And okay, a very good morning to the distinguished professors and lecturers as well as to the students. So basically, I'll be sharing with you and recapping what we have shared earlier on the business narrative and a bit on the what are the current pain points and how we could address with eMoney. Let me just share my slide. I'm allowed to share, right? How
Yeah,
does
you
the
can
sharing work?
share.
If you don't use this often. Do you want to share, optimize? Yeah. How do I share? I can't see my slide though. Or anyone, or we can share, maybe Jess or anyone? Can't see my slide. Hang on. Okay.
Uh,
Ready?
can do this. If you cannot, I can
Can
help
you
you.
just share? Because I don't see it
Yeah.
online. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Give me a moment. Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thanks, TC. Okay. So basically, I'm going to give a background on the Etiqa's eMoney project, a project that we have actually embarked on. And we will share some of these key information that you can take on from here then for your project. Let's move on, TC. Okay, so what I'll cover is basically as what one has mentioned, right? We will give an overview and recap of Etiqa's business narrative, and then we'll jump into some of the journeys that you can expect the customers to go through via our application, and we will highlight some of the key areas as well as on the technical flow, high-level technical flow, and then we'll open up for Q&A session as well as some brainstorming together with the students. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let me introduce a bit about our background. As you know, Etiqa Insurance and Takaful Berhad, or Takaful, we also in the Takaful business as well. So we are known as Etiqa, and we are one of the leading insurance and Takaful provider in Malaysia, offering a comprehensive range of life, general, as well as Takaful family and Takaful products, or we call it as policies. And we are very much part of the Maybank Group, a leading bank, one of the leading banks in Southeast Asia, right? And we are definitely in the leader in the market, and always committed into our business transformation, combining our financial expertise as well with digital innovations. Our footprints, we are not only operating in Malaysia, but we have footprints in the regional. We do operate across the regional, Southeast Asia, where we have offices or entities in Singapore, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Cambodia. We're serving millions of customers there through various channels, including digital, branches, agencies, as well as offering banca insurance products. And we are always guided by the Etiqa's mission to make insurance and Takaful simple, fast, and convenient for all our customers. Let's move on. Having said that, now a bit of one background of our eMoney initiative. Now, currently, as you know, when you buy insurance, definitely when you, that if there's any events happens or whatnot, you put up a claim. There, after all the documentation provided, we will give payouts, right, in terms of when you claims, as well as we have other types of payouts such as surplus sharing, refunds, or any other cashbacks. And currently, we are actually making the payouts or the paying the refunds to the bank customer bank accounts, which is a process that can be slow and dependent on the interbank systems, as well as prone to fail and delayed payments in view if the customer accounts are not valid or unavailable. So with that limitations in place, we don't have our customers lack of the unified digital wallet for all customers related payouts, limited visibility and control for customers over their funds, and also operationally and compliance wise, there are complexity in reconciliation and tracking multiple payout channels. And also at the same time it increase, so that means all these issues where there's an increased need for digital engagements as the insurance industry moves are also moving towards the instant payout experiences. Move on. So with that in mind, we have come up with this objective and impact of having a digital wallet or eMoney in place, whereby we want to achieve or streamline our payouts by crediting the entitlements or the payouts directly into a eMoney account, and also empower our customers to withdraw or donate or even reinvest their funds easily without Etiqa's within the Etiqa system, without the dependency on a bank account. We also wish to strengthen our customer engagement, basically to boost the use of our application, which is known as Etiqa Plus, to increase adoption, as well as to reinforce Etiqa's leadership in digital financial innovation. And also, last but not least, maintain compliance with the Bank Negara as well as internal governance frameworks, while we are actually supporting this financial inclusion and transparency. So what we want to achieve from this is the eMoney is actually, as you know, it's an initiative to introduce a digital disbursement mechanism to credit customers' entitlements, as well as it's a faster way of provide instant access and flexibility to their fund usage. So what does this mean is it will enable the customers, enable a real-time crediting of claims and refunds or surplus sharing and cashback directly to the customers. And also by bypassing customers, what you call it, the traditional banking dependencies, and it reduces our latency, minimizes transaction failures, and enhance overall reliability. And also we are looking at customers to benefit from business access, immediate access of their funds, with the flexibility of user them across a wide range of digital channels to buy or renew their products within the Etiqa ecosystem. And operationally speaking, this will also shift support and this will support the automation, improves expectation in terms of accuracy and align with Etiqa's broader digital transformation strategy, whereby we focus on speed, simplicity, and customer empowerment. So these are some of the key benefits that basically we wish to gain from introducing an e-money or e-wallet for the customers to use or have their funds to be used for multiple purposes. Let's move on. So with that in mind, we have actually introduced, or rather we have come up with a key user stories, which is will actually help to achieve the benefits. So there are three areas where we are focusing on. Streamline customers payouts, whereby a customer, basically from customer perspective, he wants to actually have a payout to be consolidated into a single e-money account, and that in terms of he has the access readily, he'll be able to manage his money without dependency on having it in a bank account. So that is one of the key benefits, as well as flexibility for customer, whereby as a customer, I want the what they call the option to reinvest the money that I get from the payout, either within either to actually withdraw directly, whereby the customer will have the option to withdraw to the bank account, or the customer can use the money to buy another product within Etiqa, or even renew the current policy at their own discretion. And of course, from Etiqa perspective, smoother operational efficiency, whereby as from the operation team perspective, we are able to actually introduce efficiency in terms of in the event or in reconciliation, as well as in operation wise, so that we can actually provide have a more accurate control on our reconciliation processes, and any without any kind of ineffectiveness that we are currently facing. So with these three areas that we have, we are actually looking at payout type in terms of prioritization, where for us, we are looking at first and foremost, how can we use the e-money for our payout travel claims, whereby if you buy insurance, travel insurance, which is quite popular in one of the popular products of Etiqa, if you're going for holidays, either domestic or even at overseas, when you buy a travel policy, of course, that comes with benefits to address any perils that you have, for example, a delay in flight, loss of luggage, etc. So you are entitled for a claim, providing all the evidences, information, and that claim normally in current status, we will actually credit into your account. The account number is given to us when during your purchase. However, there are instances where customers' account number are either invalid or inaccurate, which resulting in us not able to actually transfer the claim immediately to your account. Now, these limitations or constraints is one of the things that we want to address through eMoney, whereby the eMoney, with the eMoney, we can actually directly, in the event we are not able to transfer the amount to the bank account, we can actually have that transferred to your eMoney or e-wallet for you to use later on. But we not just stopping there. Of course, we have other areas or other payout priorities that we'll continue with. One of which is Etiqa cashback for driving less, which is one of the benefits we provide to our motor insurance or Takaful insurance, auto Takaful insurance holders, policy holders, whereby if you drive less, you are entitled for a reward, a cashback, upon all submission of the required information. Then this cashback can be actually transferred to the e-wallet instead of transferring to your bank account. And of course, we are not stopping there. We have other list of things that we'll move on later on. Surplus sharing is another area, and of course, other few drive safe and policy surrender. So these are some of the prioritization of payouts that we would like to use or rather target for the eMoney purposes. Okay, so that is a high level recap as well as our direction for eMoney. Let's move on, TC. Okay, so I would the next thing we will cover the customer journey. We will actually showcase to you how the eMoney will be available for customers when they are on their Etiqa, the Etiqa Plus application. And here, I think my colleague Jesse as well as TC will take on to run through this journey with you all. Over to you, Jesse or NTC.
Hi. Okay, so for this we have to we mainly focus on the existing users, so those who have already had or have Etiqa Plus on their phones. So what will happen is on the homepage we will include a new module or a new button feature where customers will be able to see their available cashback funds. So upon clicking or tapping onto that section, the customer will be led to a page called the dashboard, the Etiqa Cashback dashboard. And on this, you'll be able to see various sections. So the first one being your available cashback. And this cashback, in order to cater to potentially different products, will have an expiry date. What will happen is that if the customer sets up auto credit, then this amount will eventually be credited into the customer's bank account at this date by this date if they do not use the funds. The next one is the consent section on the consent form. So this will appear before the customer gets to even utilize the dashboard, so they will have to provide their consent first. What you will see below that is actually these two buttons or these two action buttons. One is to offset your policy and the other one is to withdraw to your bank account. And finally, at the bottom, we have transactions. So what happens when you tap onto the consent button, the provide consent button, you will go through a consent onboarding. You go through a very short onboarding flow. So you will see a list of terms and conditions, why we need your consent, what will happen if you give versus you don't give. So when the customer taps on agree and then they tap on continue, TC, can you go next, please? So after that, when you tap continue, you will see for us to confirm your bank details. So there are two ways. One is if we have detected your data on our system, we will just bring up the latest information we have and we have you confirm that that is the bank account you are using. If not, we will prompt you to put in your latest bank account details. So once you have that, the customer can choose whether they want to have this as their default bank account or not. Same thing with the auto credit. They can confirm and activate their wallet and they will go to a dashboard that is filled with their existing details. So you will have your travel claims if you have put in any claims, or you will have your surplus sharing, things like that. So from these two action buttons, I think it's sort of self-explanatory where the customer will be able to use their cashback and withdraw to their bank account. So to use their cashback, TC, you can go next, I think the next page. So when it comes to the purchase journeys, or when the customer purchases a policy, usually there will be a part on the payment page that states that how to enter your bank account details, and we would add another screen up here talking about whether they'll be able to use their cashback or not to offset the total amount later. Another thing to note is also that when the customer purchases their policies, this portion with the red squares is where we would be providing an extra option for customers to provide their consent on whether they want to have all this money moved to their cashback account or not, cashback dashboard or not. That is mainly on my side, so I think I would pass to TC to explain the logic at the back end.
Yeah, thank you, Jess, for explaining on the front end part lah. And moving forward, we will go through on the how actually the back end system is going to flow in terms of system integration and also the data flow. Yeah, so let's go to the technical part. Okay, so currently in Etiqa, let me get the laser. Okay. Currently in Etiqa, right, we have implement the microservices, so-called microservices in our ecosystem, right? And then we have so much of services in Etiqa that we actually need to think about when the e-coming is coming in. So how can we leverage on our current services and integrate with this eMoney in order to have a SDP, so-called straight-through process lah. Okay, so this is the very high-level diagram that, as you guys can see, we have end-to-end diagram over here from the app itself until our core system. So maybe later on in Q&A session, the student, you guys can ask more about this, how actually the insurance company did flow our diagram, our data from front end until the back end. Okay, so this is our high level diagram, and eMoney actually will be part of microservices in Etiqa ecosystem lah. So this eMoney actually will be the some sort data storage, transaction storage that record all the transaction across the services over here. So example, if we go through from the core system first, so how actually the payout will be made, right, and flow into the e-wallet or e-money over here is that actually the processing will done in the core system, which they will processing all the payout needed from the customer. Example like this, like how Gudif mentioned just now, the surplus, the claim, the surrender, all these item lah. And then once it's processing finished, it's actually will pass it to our payout service over here. So this payout service mainly is microservices that actually help to do all sort of mapping. So it actually will map from the core system transaction record, and then to match with whether it should flow to which party, right? So we put RCMS over here is that this is our Maybank service as well that actually do the payout to the individual account. Yeah, so this is how the payout service work. It will help us to remapping the transaction and pass accordingly to the services lah. And then to those when we go to the IFC, right? If let's say there is a failed integration or we have some account invalid problem or all these issue, right? So eventually we can't direct credit to our customer. So it will flow to the eMoney. So meaning that those surplus claim and surrender, if we fail to pay to the customer, then we are not flowing back to our core, but instead we will flow all these transaction to our eMoney, so that all the amount over there will store in the eMoney in order them to further further interact, I would say, to in the customer platform in the Etiqa later on, Etiqa Plus, the apps that just mentioned just now. Yeah. Then over there, the customer actually can able to using this eMoney further redirect to our EDP platform, our e-channel platform to do the repurchase or do the renewal and all sort of process over there lah. Yeah. And finally, all this transaction actually will need to flow to our SaaS system. So this SaaS system actually is our bank record system, which means that all the accounting related process will needed to proceed process over in this system, so that we actually eventually in the end we can match to our account book lah. Yeah. So I will go to next. Okay. So just now we are talking about the credit part lah. So this is more like a payment part or debit part, right? So this diagram actually show that once the e-payment, I mean the transaction flow to the eMoney, how the platform actually make the purchase on our product by using our eMoney. So as I mentioned earlier, so when it flow to our business platform like Etiqa Plus, eChannel, all these kind of platform, right? So when they wanted to make the payment, so the eMoney will become part of a default payment inside the app itself. So if you guys can imagine that if you purchase the flight ticket in Asia before, you always can saw that when you're trying to check out, right? The first thing you will saw they always ask you whether you want to deduct the flight ticket from your so-called Asia member first. You can leverage on your Asia member first. Then only if the left out amount will be charged by your credit card or your online banking. So we are actually doing the same in our Etiqa Plus apps over here as well. So meaning that if customer actually are freely to choose what payment method they need, and then if they already choose, they actually will flow to our payment gateway over here. So once they make the payment, so the payment gateway actually will create some event or call the API in order to create the transaction record, whether they are paid in eMoney or paid in online banking or paid in credit card, so that we actually have all the data in our DB here. Later on, when SaaS trying to reconcile all the thing, so we will have data ready in this DB. Yeah. Overall speaking is that the eMoney is not covering everything, but we also will try to place the correct concept to every microservices over here by actually using a DDD concept lah, domain driven design lah. Yeah. So if we able to separate all the scope over here, so that we can also how to say, also minimize the effort and also have a correct concept on how microservices structure is actually working in the enterprise level. Yeah. And actually this is a two high level flow diagram, and this is the end. So I think next we will move to the Q&A session. Yeah.
Okay.
So
We proceed to Q&A then, eh?
okay.
Okay, all right. We can start with our Q&A. So those students who have questions to throw to our Etiqa team, you can raise your hand, or you can even type in at the chat if you want to. Okay. All right.
How can I stop sharing? Oh,
Okay, Farah Paget, you can proceed with your question, Farah.
Farah, can you unmute yourself? May type in the chat area. Okay, Farah.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, I see it. Sorry. Can the Etiqa payout be used for other outside purchases or just inside Etiqa context? For now, it is only within the Etiqa ecosystem due to compliance. Of course, in the future, it may be catered to other related purchases, but it will not be similar to like, okay, you can use this cashback for Shopee or Grab, for example. You'll be able to only use it within for Etiqa products or maybe donations based on Etiqa's list of charities or maybe with it or something else that may be provided by Etiqa. And also to withdraw to your bank account. So that is maybe the only external part of this.
Thank you, Jessie. Any other question from students? You may ask or share. Okay. Jeremy mentioned, ask, other than regulation from Bank Negara, any other regulation that eMoney platform need to comply?
No, our biggest governance would be Bank Negara. Of course, management direction is also another factor, but for like currently the biggest one is Bank Negara regulation.
Actually, let me change a little bit on the regulation thing lah. Actually, there's a lot of regulator that we actually need to be considered later on. But first thing, of course, we need to pass through the Bank Negara compliant agreement first. And then inside the Bank Negara, like if you guys having a free time, you guys actually can try to check in the Bank Negara website that actually have quite a lot of how to say the policy that we actually need to comply when we wanted to apply the e-money or e-wallet this feature. Example like the if we are in IT, right? So there's one thing that we need to try to follow the policy over there is BNN RMIT. So you guys can try to see because it's a public material, so everyone can read through it in the BNN website lah. It's a BNN RMIT. So this is one thing that when we are designing the solution, we need to comply on that. That's one thing. Then second thing is that the BNN, the ML and the CFT lah. So this is the anti-money laundering. So we can read through on that document in order to also comply in our system as well. Yeah.
Thank you, TC. One question from I think Farah rephrase the question. Okay, if the payback being transferred to the bank account, can we use it for the other external outside purchases? And that can be answered by Jessie, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So I also see a question by Fatima about the payout method. So I'll answer both. So the first one is that yes, if you transfer it outside to your bank account, then you can use it for any purchases you want lah. You wanna, so because the money is essentially yours, it's just that we are providing a way for you to be able to see your purchases in real time or your transactions in real time before it actually also reaches you. One of the issues, the bigger issues we have is that let's say when you submit a claim, you actually don't know what is happening until the money is in your bank account. So I think if you have submitted a claim before, you would understand lah. You don't know when where the money is, you don't know what the progress of everything is. So this is just a way for us to be able to be more transparent with you. And for Fatima's question about whether the wallet is the default payment method or if it's optional, it is optional and you will still get your money. It's just that you will not be able to see the progress of your transaction. So whether your money is on the way to you or not, you will only know if it fails, if suddenly our team tries to contact you or you reach out to us instead.
Okay, meaning that tracking the current history or the status of the payback, cashback, and so on is the desired functions for the eMoney platform, right?
Yes, we would want you to have that as your default.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think just to add on, we'll provide a transaction history as well.
Mm.
Once you start using eMoney, you can actually opt to see what was the money came in, when the last time, and when was it, what was it used for. So that will give you an idea as to how your money is working
Yep.
for the last maybe period.
How about Kugan question in the chat? Is the RMIT risk management in technology framework apply within the RCMS? If so, could you explain how compliance is managed under this framework by both BNM and also Maybank?
Okay, I believe this one we actually couldn't explain in detail how we actually manage the framework, but actually we have a compliant team sit in Etiqa and also Maybank Group. So when we try to implement this kind of eMoney work framework kind of design, right, we actually will propose our solution to the compliance team. So the compliant team actually will assist on this part in order to advise from PN whether we actually are compliant or not. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on, RMIT is it govern a lot of areas in the financial industry. And if you go through the document, which I think students can go to the website as what shared by PC, right? You could see there are many clauses there on which different situations lah. So just to safeguard the risk exposure that the banking side or even the financial industry that will be able to safeguard from various situations. So eMoney, of course, any transactions that comes into the landscape of financial industry has to be safeguarded lah. So I think that is something that you guys can look out into the website and understand. But our custodian of this is, of course, our compliance who will advise us accordingly. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Independent.
Okay, next, I think Fatima question still not being answered. Can the customer choose to bypass the wallet and still receive the direct bank transfer?
Yes, they can. So at the point at the start, they will be able to choose whether they want to provide the bank account details for direct transfer or they opt into this cashback wallet. So depending on which they choose, then our system should record it accordingly, and then they will be able to, the team will be able to deposit or credit the money however the customer chooses.
Okay,
More
then we
questions
can
on
move
this.
to Amirul question. The
Yeah,
eMoney e-wallet.
can
Okay.
I can take this. Yeah, so to Amirul question, actually this eMoney is we call it as a closed looped transaction where the customer is allowed to buy products and services within Etiqa. Whereas you see TNG and other types of wallets, right? This comes under the full-blown eMoney policy, where you can actually use it for any other purposes, investments, etc. If you are touch and go users, you can see that it's expanding in scope. Whereas for us, we comes under the certain policies which will allow customers to either withdraw the money for in their own bank account, or use it within the Etiqa ecosystem to buy or renew their products and services. So that's this how the eMoney is going to work for us. Okay, I hope that answers Amirul's question.
Okay, then we can move to next. Lukman, yeah, Lukman question. Other roles that might interact with the system other than the customer.
Can
I think TC can take this one.
Can you explain more on role that direct and indirect with the system? Do you mean that the people actually are handling the transaction, right? Is it?
Lukman, can you explain further, Lukman? Maybe you can unmute the mic.
I'm asking, like, maybe is there like an admin or someone that moderate the feature that interact, maybe managing uh, the e-money coming in or coming out of the system, something like that, like interacting with the system but not as customer.
Okay, I think you are asking that actually which party actually involved in this so-called e-money feature, right? So so the e-money feature in Etiqa definitely is not only customer. It will involve quite a lot of party over the company. Like just now when you guys bring out the compliance team, right? So compliance is one team. So other than that, the most important one is the finance team in Etiqa. So and then of course is IT team that are helping to develop. I mean, okay, maybe we start from one to one. I mean, how to say from the start lah. So first thing definitely is PO coming in, right, to define the business context, all this kind of thing. Then second thing is that compliance team and risk team coming in to assess whatever the PO is proposing on the solutioning, right? So after that, all these things will be also be taking the feedback from our finance team as well, because they are the one who manage all these transactions. They need all this data to be aligned to what they currently set up in Etiqa right now, right? So finance team will become our stakeholder, meaning that we are the one who following their requirements to perform or design our solution. And then the fourth thing is the IT team that come in after we have all these business requirement ready. The IT team will follow the business requirement accordingly to design the system and develop the system and release the system. Yeah. And then when you talk about admin, definitely when we have all these things, like just now I mentioned in the diagram, right? We have a so-called SaaS system over there. Actually, it's a system that gather all the transaction record in order to perform the bank reconcile process. So definitely we need a finance team later on to go into that system to perform the reporting process in order to make sure all the transactions actually are made in the correct way accordingly lah. Yeah. So it's not only involved in the IT in per se lah, but this eMoney actually is involved the whole company team in order to make this thing moving smooth. Yeah.
I think to add on also, something that also is heavily involved in after the building is probably the operations team, because for any issues that happens with the system, then this is the team that manages complaints, any additional misunderstandings by the customer or things like that. So usually the operations team will also need to have access to all of the logs and the system on top of the finance team.
Luman?
Thank you very much.
Then we move on to next, Hani Batrishi, types of audit trails and logs that must be generated for regulatory review.
Definitely
I
the right. Oh, sorry, go. Go for it,
just
TC. Oh, can.
just go for it.
Okay. So the first thing is definitely the accounting. So right now the biggest, not one the biggest, but one of the biggest I guess puzzles you would think is that we have products from different entities. So we have Takafu products, we have general products, we have motor, travel, claims, payout, surrender, all of these. And these belong to different entities as well. How do we consolidate all of this money for the customer? And from the accounting side, how does that work? Because let's say when it comes to Takafu, they are governed by slightly different rules when it comes to bookkeeping, and then from compared to general side, and then all of these logs need to be recorded. So for example, if let's say we have money coming from surplus sharing from your Takafu product, and then after that we have money from your general motor insurance, for example. Eventually, maybe we have 20 ringgit consolidated amount for the customer to use. From the front to the customer, you only see 20 ringgit, but from the back end, our accounting needs to reflect that, okay, 10 ringgit is from surplus sharing, for example. The other 10 ringgit is from, your motor insurance. Yeah. So mostly those types of trails. And then, of course, we need to track whether there are any failures, how the system is performing, uptime, downtime, what is the reason for any accounting failure or payout failure, all of those. Is that
Maybe,
those are
maybe
some?
I can maybe I can add on top of technical in technical term lah, right? So for the log wise, right? So what log actually must be in our system? First thing, I think we need a top up transaction, right? Top up or payout transaction. So this is first thing. Then second thing is the payment log, and also maybe we call it spending log. If we don't want too specific, spending log maybe will be involve others like amount or this kind of thing. And then third thing is refund log. Refund, if let's say there is a problem over there, then we need to do the refund or this kind of thing, right? So we need to log it down. Then the fourth thing is the settlement log. The settlement log actually is like I say, the bank record, all this kind of log lah. Yeah, and then of course the others log is like our API log, which source actually we are transferring to, right? And then when there is an issue, then how we going to troubleshooting on all these system, right? So it's API log, then we have an error log, and if let's say we have a portal over there, then the audit trail that you mentioned about is all the action log that we actually need to log into our system. Yeah.
Okay, then we move to Danish. If customer pass away, how will be the balance being handled?
So currently, I mean, for our day-to-day, most of it is handled by your, with the next of kin, so either your beneficiary or your nominee. If the customer inputs that detail. If not, then currently it is up to the customer to reach out to us. Of course, as a result of this, we are also working on another separate project that is different from this, which is to be able to have a linkage of all of our customers and their beneficiaries or their nominees, so that these people are also able to get the certain information that is needed in the event that the customer does pass away, so that it could help with the processings on transfer or any of the maturity, surrender value, etc.
Okay, then next by Irdina. She asking about the notification in the case of fail in payout to the custom bank and the channel if there is any notification.
So currently, yes. If there is any issues with the failure in the bank accounts, then we do inform the customer as best as we can. Mainly, we do also try to call them if it fails multiple times. There are times where the customers are not contactable or responsive. So this is why we wanted to have this system lah. But for now, the channels that we use are, depending if the customer uses the app, then you also get push notification. If not, then you get SMS, email, call. I think call is our most common method for now.
Okay, then next by Fatima. Fatima again, this is the third questions by her. Okay, the clarification on error handling and rollback procedure during that integration points.
Maybe Huzaifa, you wanted to explain this?
Yeah. Hi everyone.
Mm.
Okay, I think for this one it's a bit more I think deeper in the system solution design, which is more on the integrations between cross system and payout. So at the moment, between core and payout is actually the integration is through batch files. In other words, the core system actually generate a files containing all the payments or transactions to be paid to the customer. So these files have a certain format that we have defined, okay? And there are also certain fields that have to be provided. For example, like the who is the customer, and then what's the customer ID? It could be their IC number and so on. And there, how much is the payment, and also their bank accounts, okay? And also for which bank, okay? So actually, payout will validate those information, the format as well, and making sure that everything follow the spec before it can be processed and sent to the bank, which is RCMS. So what we do now, whenever there's a processing error at the payout service, we will send another file to the core system, indicating which transactions or which batch that actually failed to be processed. So this is the current handling. So you can include that in your in your analysis. But if I can expand a bit, whenever we send a file to the RCMS or to the bank, RCMS will also do another validation in terms of making sure that those bank accounts are valid and so on. So if there's some validations that are failing at the bank side, some information will also be returned to payout. So payout will actually return back those information back to the core. Okay. So actually, core at the end will have a full view for each transactions that have processed and that they have sent for payout, which one that are failing and which one that are successful. Yeah. I think hopefully that answers Fatima your questions.
Okay, thank you, Zaifa. Then next to Yunzin, any transaction limit or fund transfer restriction in the new eMoney?
Right now, no. Of course, this is also subject to compliance and whether they say yes. But for now, it is not, there's no limit lah.
I think this is a good question. Maybe we can, because some of the question actually I will record down. And I think you guys really asked some good questions that we actually never thought of. So we will record down and we will further to get the info as well. Yeah.
All right. Then next, we move to Jiaming, Edward. Okay. What happened if the transfer failed? Will it automatically revert to bank transfer or require manual handling?
So this
We
one is go for it.
just you go ahead.
Oh, okay. So right now, it's also another good question actually. So there are quite a lot of cases, quite a lot of edge cases that could happen with this. So the first thing that we are trying is that if the customer chooses to have their funds auto credited, then we will automatically revert. We will go to that direct bank account lah at a certain date. If not, then definitely manual handling, but also depending why it failed, right? Yeah. So I think TC,
I
you can
think this question is quite interesting because we like to think the opposite, where if the bank transfer fails, then we like to put into eMoney. Now the question says that if it fails in the eMoney, transfer
Yeah.
eMoney, does it goes to the bank
Yes.
transfer?
Yes.
Yeah. So I
Yes.
definitely, I think we will get that trigger for us to try the other alternative.
Or maybe student can suggest their ideas.
Yeah, that'd be
Let the
great too.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay, then we move to Etiqa. Are there any manual tasks that can be performed, that can be automated with the eMoney platform? If so, what are the tasks?
Maybe Atiqa can expand on this question.
Yes, Etiqa, please expand. Explain further on your questions, Etiqa.
Hello, boleh. Okay. So
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm a bit sick right now. So basically, so before we build this app, right, we must have to how do I, it's like manual tasks, as in, I'm kind of nervous right now. For example, it's like pin verification, payout, or like something that you do at the counter, that you want to make it into online. So that is basically my type of question.
Maybe you are talking about self-service, right?
Yeah.
That definitely actually our objective and our end goal is to the self-service level lah, which means that we actually will help our operation team to perform the SDP process lah. So, and we actually currently we also working on this. The thing that you put over here like claim or payout, actually we are in the midst of not in the midst of the development to make it to become an automation as well. Yeah. So this is why just now I also mentioned that in our Etiqa ecosystem right now, we are trying to develop multiple microservices that actually to support all these kind of feature. So moving forward, it's not only Etiqa plus these apps, but we might have so-called our AI chatbot to help our customer to do more self-service feature over there lah. Yeah.
Okay, then we move to Nurin. What data needed for payout verification? Does some fail because no specific data for mapping?
Okay. I think I answered just now, but I think I can repeat it again, right? So normally for payout, the data that will transmitted is the customer name, customer ID, the amount, and then the bank account of the customer and for which bank. And also for from the call system, there's also, they call it a payment voucher. Okay. So this, I think this is very important because eventually when we have eMoney, we also want to trace back where are the source of payout, where the source of fund coming from. Is it coming from claim, for which policy, and so on, right? So those information can be traced back based on the payment voucher number registered in the core system. Okay. So in terms of the failure, as I mentioned, so there are some required fields. So what I mentioned just now, those are mandatory. If there are information that there are also information that will be related by the bank. For example, like your bank account and also your ID must match before the payment can be made. Okay, so this is quite common within the banking environment for all this kind of transfer. Yeah. So sometimes you have a valid account, but your IDs that you register with your bank account are different from what you given to Etiqa. So in that case, it can fail. Yeah. I
But
think hopefully that answers you. Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
maybe to put in more detail on this lah. So I think the fundamental is that we will need to try to see what's the problem first, right? How they actually fail on this case, right? Is it the data mapping issue or the data structure issue, right? So this is why also if we wanted to avoid this kind of verification fail, we actually are introducing some industry standard as well lah. So later on, I will paste some information over there. So this is what we currently doing in Etiqa lah. We're trying to use the industry standard so that the data across all the platform actually are using the same data structure, so that it actually will avoid the verification fail lah. Yeah. Let me share you the standard. So maybe the student can also can look at this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called a COD standard and the ISO standard lah. Yeah.
All right, we move to Ajmer. Can the customer use the money to fund the purchase for new or other insurance policy?
Yes.
Yes.
Depending, but if let's say you got the money from Etiqa and you want to buy AIA, for example, then no. But if you want to do that, then you can withdraw the money to your bank account and then you can use it to buy AIA.
All right, then move to Fateh. Will high risk actions such as withdrawal require additional verification?
Yes, so there will be times where the money will be of a certain large value. In that case, we would follow our let's say surrender policy, right? Maybe you could get a few thousands of ringgit. In that portion, you will definitely need to go through a process with our team before the money gets to you. They will need to verify your identity. They will need to verify they will need your signature, your chop sign, whichever documents they need in order to verify that we are giving the money to the right person lah. So it's not like, one day you say, okay, I want to surrender, I want to stop my insurance, you stop it, and then immediately the money comes to you. It doesn't work like that right now, and that is because of all of the KYC or know your customer processes we need to do before that.
Okay, then by Atira, what are the key risk management feature that need to be prioritized for the security, for the to make it secure platform operation?
I think this one could be answered together with Yuan Man, Ko Yuan Man question as well lah. So if we're talking about the system security wise, right, that actually there's no prioritize. So all the security is a must in order to secure the platform operation. Example like first thing is identity control, of course. So identity control is like Jess mentioned just now, your eKYC or all these kind of feature, right? And then the second thing is to secure our API integration, our backend security lah. Like we need to use a secure API gateway, right? Or using a token validation to all these kind of transaction, even we using eKYC. And then third thing maybe is our infrastructure as well. We need to have a zero trust policy to be applied into our infrastructure, and also all the so-called hardening process to be implemented into our infrastructure as well lah. And then the fourth thing I think is data protection, right? And the encryption. So how we actually protect our data in our DB level or even the app level until the client level. So who's supposed to see what, right? So if you are finance, you're able to see everything, but let's say you are not finance, you are just a developer, so you are not allowed to see the NIC or the PII, so-called PII information lah. Yeah. And then of course is the resilient method and our disaster recovery planning. So if let's say the server or the API is breakdown, what is our what is our plan, our DR plan on this? And then of course also the compliance and the risk assessment. So there's no priority per se, as in eMoney is a finance feature, is a very sensitive information in every industry. So we must comply everything. Yeah. I hope I answer all the thing, or I can write out the thing and put in the chat lah. So you guys can, maybe too many already. Yeah.
Okay. And then we move to Irdina. Any daily or monthly withdrawal limit from eMoney to bank accounts?
Another good question. For now I would say no, but I would definitely have to check and confirm with our team. But for now I would say no. Mainly I am basing off the case that if you were to put a travel claim, then the team will need to verify the entire claim, and by right you should be able to get the amount that you need lah, at that point in time.
Okay. Then move to Hani. How will user be notified in the case of suspicious activity?
I think it's another good question. Hani, maybe you can expand on this. What type of suspicious activity do you think might happen?
What I mean by suspicious activity, maybe they like over purchasing insurance, or maybe there is a hacker that hacked their account.
Like hack their Etiqa Plus account?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think this go back to the just now when we talk about the security measurement, right, in the platform. So in order to avoid this kind of attack or this kind of loophole in our system, so this is the point that I mentioned just now, is all the security measurement that we need to comply lah, in order to avoid this kind of so-called suspicious activity, right? In order to penetrate our system. Yeah.
I think for this question is quite good because let's say if somebody else is using Etiqa Plus account, let's say a family member, and there is money in the e-wallet. So how can we ensure that the user is the right person? Maybe there is some validation need to be done, or of course the money can be transferred out to a designated bank account which was given earlier. Otherwise, the person only can use the money to purchase another insurance. But again, it's still back to the basic, where we need to ensure that the right person is doing the right things.
Yeah, and then I think we also need to think about, when we talk about suspicious, right? So how suspicious level that we wanted to extend to, right?
Correct.
Is it transferring 10 times within a days, or yeah, or keep on debit in and out, right? If let's say we have that picture, so is it they're doing money laundering or whatever thing inside there? Yeah. Yeah, I think just this one also can record down.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, I
quite good.
think it's a good use case to think about. I think if you guys have suggestions as well when you come up with this, when you continue on with your project, then feel free to let us know your ideas as well.
Yes, like Dr. Razia shared at the early session just now, student will demonstrate their analysis in next following phase 2. So they might come out with the proposed solution, but maybe it's feasible to be realized. Okay, so they will come up with the security features. Meaning that they will propose because they learn about the security quality aspect for the requirements of the software that they are going to propose or to develop. Okay, so students take note that this is very good chance for you to practice what you learn in topic 1, where you have to classify the security requirement in detail, specifically for Etiqa context. Right? Thank you. Next question, maybe.
Esme.
Yes. Does the system will integrate QR scan technology? They want to use their funds instead of online transferring.
I would say that'd be great, but for from a business perspective, no, mainly because of the funds that may be going in, right? Your claims, the amount that you might accumulate in there might not be like 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit anymore. And if it goes beyond a certain level, actually QR scan also has limitations to how much you can transfer. So for now, it is going to be online transfer. It could be immediate also, we don't know that yet, but it could also be immediate. So it may not be as bad, but not QR lah. I think I can go to the next one also, Ching Leong. Yes, there will be a lot of approvals needed with compliance and legal and IT security. In what possible action or procedures needed, we just have to work together. I don't really have a needed procedure. Of course, everybody wants to make it go faster, but the only way to really do that is to communicate early.
Yeah,
And
I think there's a
consistently.
continuously teamwork between the compliance to ensure that we are within the framework or the regulatory framework. That's for sure.
I think also something to remember is that what we are handling here are people's money. These people might need their claim for emergencies, for life issues that puts them in a very not a very happy place. So we also want to make sure that whatever we do is to the correct person in the correct manner and does not cause them any more issues lah. Could be hackers, could be kids, other people stealing their money. We don't know. So for things like this, maybe the answer should not be to speed it up, but of course we need to be careful lah.
Mr. Huzaifah, there is a request from Fatima.
Dedicated to
Yeah.
Mr. Huzaifah.
Yeah, thanks for the follow-up questions. Yeah, for now it's I would say it's a manual intervention because normally it requires data update. So someone has to contact the customer or the beneficiary who expected to receive the payment and to do some necessary corrections or amendment to the data before it can be retransmitted again. So normally for this kind of cases, but if the cases is more about integration issue, then it can be kind of automated. I mean, like it can be resent to in the next batch. So it depends. It depends on what kind of errors. But I think for now you can look at it could be data issues, as I said earlier, or it could be a specific issue with with the integrations. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully that answers you.
Thank
Okay.
you. If Fatima want to expand, maybe you can just put in the chat. Right. Next question from Shaida. If the customer has outstanding balance with Etiqa, will the payout process be interfered?
Yes, so if you were to put in a claim, we will do all the necessary checkings before the money actually gets to you. So if you have not, if your policy has lapsed, or if you haven't been paid, then you may not get the payout in the first place. So it would not have reflected.
Okay, then we move to wave 4. Is there any specific BNM or RITM rule that the system need to comply?
I
Yeah.
think yeah, Udif.
Go ahead.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay. Just that on BNM perspective, there are two clear policies to this. One is the full e-money policy, which is governing the current touch and go and other e-wallet players. There's another policy which were introduced late last year, which we call it limited purpose e-money. And within that policy, there are the one that I spoke about, the closed loop, transactions, which means that the customers having an e-wallet account within the company are only allowed to do transaction to buy, renew, etc. Within that company, products and services of that company. And this applies to, I think, not only insurance but also telecommunication and other few, who wish to have an e-wallet as an option. So that comes from the BNM perspective, and this is what I think Jess has mentioned also. We are working closely with compliance to ensure that we are in compliance as well, try to do as much within that policy. For the RMIT, I think we also govern with all other projects where one of the condition is for us to actually uh, do certain tests such as penetration test and attestation for all customer facing systems to ensure that those what we develop is not vulnerable or secured. So these are one of the key requirements that applies to any system or rollout that have a customer interfacing or customer interaction. TC, you can add on from here.
I think that's good lah. I mean, what you just mentioned. But I think we cannot give as specifically what's need to be go through, right? I mean, this maybe is one of your next proposal, right?
Correct. These are we actually, because this is new. New, not to say very new, but it's just that we want to make sure that we are doing the right thing. At the same time, we also want to make sure that we can expand. So we are constantly working with the compliance. Of course, the compliance are in touch with the bank negara so that we can actually use e-money as a way to move forward. I'm sure bank negara would also want to explore further. But anyway, this is something that we are working on together with bank negara. Yeah.
Okay, and we move to Kugan. Again, on the suspicious activity, what qualifies for suspicious activity if expected in the system?
At least, I guess for now, it's anything you would think is suspicious happening to your money, or if you feel like something is off. But also mentioned just now is potentially things like a hacker in your Etiqa Plus account. Maybe someone is transferring money out without your permission. So those would be suspicious. I would think so.
Yeah,
If you
I
have
think
any.
for Google, there are broad guidelines to this lah. Suspicious activities can happen in any banking and insurance domain. I think some of these the risky ones like under the AML, anti-money laundering, where people has and we can actually track it based on the pattern of transactions, or we have any information that we could actually do further checking. Of course, at the individual level, like we mentioned earlier, there could be somebody using your account. Of course, for us to know is, of course, through the pattern of transactions, or there are any other information, or we call it a suspicious activity information, then we can have actually raise it up to compliance for them to do further deep dive into the investigation. So there can be a broad suspicious activities categories in this case.
Okay. Then I move to Haris. Will the customer have option to link their e-wallet to their bank account, or they need to fill in the bank account information every time they want to make a purchase?
Or to make an insurance purchase. So we currently, I think if you refer to the chart earlier shared by TC, which I think you guys have to refer later, there is a platform called CDH, which is our customer data hub. And what we intend to do with that system is that the moment a customer inputs their bank account details on Etiqa Plus or anywhere, then we would have that information. So we would use that as the latest or the updated information for the customer in order for us to use when they have any repeat purchases, if they want to renew. So that will be our default. Of course, if the customer wants to change their bank account details, then they'll be able to do so. But for now, if you have recently updated your information as a customer, then you don't need to manually fill it up again and again, unless you want to change it. In terms of e-wallet, let's say if it's touch and go, then currently no. However, we are exploring potentially linking it with Maybank lah. I mean, for easier for customers who want to link it to their Maybank, then of course we will explore that section. Not immediately, but in the future.
So this question, just I think just now you show the customer journey. So there will be an account number, like you mentioned, default account number, latest available, but the customer has a choice to update the number if he wants to change the account number, right? And then there will be some validations, of course, to that lah.
We will share the recording after the session so that student can continue brainstorming their their proposed solution. Okay, let me read next question.
We have Omar, right? The
Yes.
multi-currency transactions, no, we don't cater for that yet, but I think that is a good use case, something for us to think about. But for now, no lah. Everything is in Ringgit Malaysia.
Yeah, I think Omar question is interesting because let's say we expose this e-wallet to regional countries, then of course the multi-currency comes in play lah, you know. For now, for Malaysian, no, it's all in ringgit as at now lah.
But maybe one more additional point is that we are expanding to our regional right now lah.
Yes.
So maybe you guys can think about this. Yeah.
Interesting question from Omar that require us to think for the next future excitement factor. Next question from Nur Zulaika. Are there any exclusive benefit for the current customer who actively use Etiqa eMoney? Example, rewards, voucher, cashback, and extra.
My favorite
I think
question.
I think this one is interesting because we're also exploring. We would definitely want our customers to use eMoney. I think there are use cases also in this aspect where we can actually entice customers to use eMoney, but I think Jess also working on some options here as well.
So many new ideas this morning. Okay, from Muhammad.
Yeah.
Listen, does the customer have the same interface as the internal roles like claims officer or compliance officer? The UI, I think so, Muhammad. which Muhammad? We have so many Muhammad. Muhammad, can you expand? Does the customer have the same interface as the internal roles?
Yes, the user interface.
Yeah. Yes. Using.
No. So from the customer's point of view, they don't need the amount of data that we have for our internal roles. So to the customer, in terms of priority, we'll be giving them, of course, their transaction, how much, where it comes from generally, and then of course the status of their transaction. But for claim officers or compliance officers, they need a lot more information than that when it comes to audit or to checking. So no.
Yeah, I agree. Next question from Fatima. I think fourth or fifth question from Fatima too this morning. If you don't mind. Okay, they actually want to know the intervention process, meaning the alternative process, if and also provide few example of the common error types and how they are resolved. Example, invalid account, system timeout error. Any ideas?
Muzaffar, do you want to answer this?
Okay. All right. Okay. I think what you have mentioned, invalid account number, sometimes does happen. There are also cases which we have encountered, for example, like the bank didn't process the batch in time, which caused the payout cannot be made, because actually every payout that we process has to be that we send to bank has to be processed within the same day. So in that case, it will say invalid payment date. Yeah, so that kind of thing lah. And then there are also cases where it's an invalid or non-existent bank code. Okay, and we also have cases like unidentified source or entity. So because whenever we send, the bank has to know or has to actually be configured upfront to actually detect the source of the payment, whether it's come from which system or which entity. For example, like general and life, we have a different code that we configure at the bank side in order for them to process the payment. Because remember, those payments when we make to customer, our Etiqa account has to be deducted from there. So the fund will come from Etiqa account. So it has to be configured at the bank prior to any payout. So I think, yeah, I can't go all their lists because it's a quite long list. But I think you can take those common error types. That I mentioned.
Next question from Chin Leong. If customer information approval need to be checked by human and other compliance processes in future, is there any possible let this process handled by self-trained AI and optimize the process? If no, so this means that eventually whole process need human to intervene.
This is
I think. Sorry.
go. You can go, TC.
I think we will still manage. We are not dragging the AI topic into this eMoney yet because we are dealing for my own what I say is that our eMoney is all handling all this sensitive information, right? So the majority of the AI currently right now, whether across the whole industry, right, is it already matured in the FI industry, right? So it is not really that matured yet. So for now, our intention is that we are not dragging the AI come into yet, but we are just leverage on the technology that we have in order to optimize the process. Yeah. So short answer is no lah, not for now lah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think to add on, this is also a sort of ethical question. Of course, as people, we would love for everything to be automated by AI. But also you can consider that if this was gonna be done by AI, then what other security measures would you need to put in place so that the AI does not automatically go and transfer money to the wrong person also? The same errors could happen if not gone worse sometimes. And also recently within the industry, if I'm not mistaken, there is also news of hacking. People are starting to learn how to use AI to hack also. So you can think about that, and you can come up with ideas if you want to. But that opens opens another can that I don't know if you want to manage.
Yeah,
But
and then
good to explore.
maybe
That's a good thought.
add on some point on maybe just now I also mentioned about our AI chatbot, right? So the AI chatbot might only handling the human question in order to provide the correct answer for them. But in terms of internal process, there's no AI yet to direct interfere the our back-end processor right now. Yeah. So so AI right now we are not letting them direct interfere with our back-end processor yet. Yeah.
Yep. Next question from Imon. How do you deal with payment dispute when suspicious or unauthorized fund transfer occur and user ask for their money back? How you currently deal with this kind of scenario of suspicious or unauthorized fund? Because Mr. Uzaifa mentioned just now, there will be some cases misuse. In our term, Dr. Razia might correct me, we are referring that as a misuse case. So how do you deal that currently with the unauthorized, and how they are going to ask for their money back?
Okay. Maybe in terms of the current payout, I would say, let's say for the current claim process, let's say there are cases or there are situations where we pay the claim in the excess amount. Let's say you're expected to only get 200, but somehow we make a payout a total of 300. So there's an excess of 100. So the customer has to refund back to Etiqa. So there's a process that the customer has to go through. Okay, that basically make excess payment. Okay, and also same situation apply for double payout. Okay, but I think looking at eMoney as well, eMoney that we gonna come up with. I think we're also looking at a similar situation. How when we make a payout from the core, it should be only one transaction, but when it goes into eMoney, it can become two. Let's say for integration issue or for some processing issues. So how are we gonna mitigate that? Okay, I think that's something that you guys can analyze as well in terms of what could be control, what kind of control that we could have. And also for eMoney, you can use that to purchase, right? You can purchase other product within Etiqa. So how we can make sure that this eMoney, there wouldn't be such cases of double spend or double pay. From the same amount, let's say you have $200 in your eMoney, you can use the same 200 ringgit to buy for two different products. Yeah, so I think that this is something that can cause dispute and has to be handled as part of the system design. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what I can say for now.
Any additional thoughts? Okay, so I will move.
Yeah, from the right. Okay, all right.
Can the system trigger alerts for high risk or abnormal payout patterns?
I think definitely yes lah. But we actually haven't come until this level. How we actually going to design the pattern, right? Just how all the while we are talking about the suspicious activity, right? So we need to go back to looking on this, how we actually set the perimeter on this part. So how we going to define this is going to trigger the suspicious or the abnormal activity inside the system. But yeah, I think we still welcome you guys to give us some idea, right?
Yeah, just to add on, currently all payouts does go through screening, AML screening, which means to say that is one part of it, lah. But later on, once it's in eMoney, there could be additional checks or validation that we will think of, lah, based on how we want to design this, lah. Especially the amount is involved. It's a bigger amount. Probably we need to put additional validation. This is something we need to think about and open for suggestion as well.
Okay, then move to Yunzin, right? So when the customer submit a withdrawal request from their eMoney balance, will the funds be transferred automatically, or the Etiqa team need to perform manual verification or approval before we can initiate the transfer?
I think it goes back. Of course, the goal, yes, we would like to have it as straight through as possible. But also, as what Gurdev said just now, we potentially need to explore certain verifications. Of course, you can propose to have these verifications early on so that we don't need to do it again when the customer wants to withdraw, or you want to suggest that we do it while they want to withdraw. So I think we're open to your suggestion in that sense, but the goal is definitely to have it as seamless as possible.
Yeah, maybe to add on also, Etiqa currently trying to cooperate with another governance vendors which call my digital ID. So this digital ID actually is to help us further verify the customer information, like they will actually put in the NIC and also their name, so that we actually verify this customer is a legit customer from us lah. Yeah. So maybe you guys can can reuse this ID verification as a on your design lah. And maybe plus what Gurdeep mentioned just now, using the screening process like the ML verification. So this will help us to further identify the legitimacy of this customer. Yeah.
Okay, then move on to Lokman. Will it be possible for eMoney to have like e-tabung feature similar to MAE or BEU app, where customer can save their money in like a separate tabung, like piggy bank?
I think it's an interesting idea. For now, of course, I cannot see a very big use case for it yet, but definitely something we will explore. It could be possible, but it will most likely be also in collaboration with MAE. So there are two ways we can go about it, right? But interesting. I think you can definitely explore it. We will
Yeah,
also think about
I have a use case for you. As a user, my goal is to travel next year to somewhere, and I can actually use the e-wallet as a tabung concept to collect as much, in order to buy an insurance policy. No, motor insurance is quite common. We buy every year, kan? So from that perspective, maybe if we have this kind of e-money, the rewards and all that, you can use that to continue to collect as much, so that come to the time you want to renew your policy, you can actually have sufficient money, or at least part of it, to actually buy the product. That can be some kind of goal setting, to entice customers.
Yeah, we'll say potential goal setting. But yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. We'll definitely explore it.
Okay. We come to. I'm not sure whether this is going to be our last question for the session, since there is no other question being posted. Okay, by Omar. Okay, they're coming.
Not the last question.
Okay. Does Etiqa plan to integrate the e-wallet with physical card services such as Visa card or own card like TNG card?
No. Short answer, no. We are not a bank. I think we are a financial institution, but we are not a bank. So there are no plans for us to come up with our own card or our own e-wallet pay to peer-to-peer
Correct.
type.
But I like to explore this option, because if in case you have some kind of priority card within Etiqa, to use the
Mm.
card for purchases, maybe that could be a future option. Not so much a touch and go, but our own local Etiqa card, so to speak, which will give you some privileges. I don't know, this is very visionary, but something good, and you guys can always suggest to us for us to explore as an option.
But to think back, maybe you can think on towards cooperation with Maybank instead of maybe Etiqa itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
MAE yeah.
Yeah, because still Etiqa is part of Maybank Group. So how we actually increase the cooperation between these two company, right? So I think we can move toward that direction.
We have additional new question more. Okay. From Ms. Yang Eng, how fast the payouts and transaction should be? The acceptance delay is, what is the maximum acceptable downtime in a month? They are interested to know about the performance, the expected performance of the eMoney lah. Okay. Is it acceptable downtime in a month? Is it must be 99.9 uptime?
If you ask me, definitely the answer is 100% uptime. We not sustain to afford to let this service down. If let's say we have a high number of customer, right? So, but to answer to give you the exact answer, this Huzaifah, got any contact?
Okay. In terms of the availability, it has to be high availability, as TC said. Okay. There could be some planned downtime, but it will be very minimal, I would say. Okay, in terms of payout to bank, just specific on that, payout to bank, for Etiqa, we always process as and when we get the payment transactions to be paid from respective policies. Okay, we will process most immediate. The only thing that when you say delay, when the customer will get, so that will depend, because I think this is different perspective, because it's more about customer experience. But in terms of the uptime, it has to be 100% or high availability. But in terms of the customer acceptance of the payment, it can depend on the which bank accounts, where it resides, and then business day and end of day. Yeah. So normally during off day, there won't be any processing made, only on the business day. Yeah, for certain payment. So I think that will kind of lead to it. Yeah.
The current payout, what is our current payout pattern is Huzaifah, to the customer? Maybe it's T+1, right?
Yeah, T+1. Because from our operations team, we receive the applications or the claims, for example, to be processed. So on the same day they will process, and then end of day the batch file will be ready for payout to process, and then payout will send to the bank. Yeah. So depending on which bank account, so within my bank normally it will be within a day, but for non my bank it will take few days. Yeah. So it can be T+3 for some banks. Yeah.
So more reasons to have eMoney. You get money faster. And at the same time, I think we also go with the, if you talk about e-wallet uptime itself, it's go with the system, Etiqa Plus, which is certainly above 90 odd, 99, 100% maybe, RTC. But
Yeah,
definitely this is a plus point.
yeah, in terms of infrastructure design, right, we are designed as in a term called active lah, or active ready. So which means that we have one server is always active, and the other one we call it a DR server, the disaster recovery server. So that server will be either in active state or ready state, which means that if our current active server is down, that means the automatic switch over fallback mechanism will go to the DR server lah. Yeah.
Okay, then we move to wave fund, right? Okay, what are the rules for earning and redeeming reward points, such as points per spending?
We don't have a point system right now, but we are working on one where we are giving a tiering system to customers based on how much they have spent with us and how long they have been with us. So 4 levels, and then depending, the higher you spend, the higher you are on the tier. So when you are, on the higher part of the tier, then you will get more benefits in that sense. Particularly, the team isn't really looking into a full-fledged point system, mainly because of the effort and the amount of resources it would need to maintain it, to operate it. However, there are also thoughts or explorations to see how we can collaborate with Maybank, if any, their point system and things like that. So for now, there are no rules in that sense. More money, more rewards.
Yeah, and also maybe you guys can add on to your next presentation is that all these so-called reward or voucher, we call it non-cashable item lah. So for monitoring thing, we call it cashable item. So maybe when you guys are designing on the non-cashable item, you guys can use this kind of term to put it in, so that to make the presentation more how to say, more how to say more
More not general, but it can cater to more use cases.
yes. But I think even right now our motto, right, we have a thing called DRSM, right? Drive less, save more.
No, we
So
are not. Etiqa cashback by driving less.
yeah,
Ah.
so this is part of a use case in our side right now lah. Actually, let's say you guys are buying the policy from us, then you actually can register your mileage and submit every month. So with that, if we have with that threshold, we will cash back when your every monthly, and then you will get the cashback over there lah. Yeah, but the cashback right now actually just we count it as a non-cashable item or cashable item.
That one is cashable because the money, the cashback is directly banked into the customer's bank account. So they are able, as long as they submit their mileage, they can actually encash it. It's technically encashing.
That one
Yeah.
consider claims, TC.
Oh, claims. Okay.
Yeah, consider claims.
Yeah, this is one of the use case in our Etiqa right now.
I would say non-encashable would be maybe if I were to give you a 50 ringgit voucher for anything, and then you're not able to exchange it for cash. That's all. So any form of items in the form of vouchers, then those are non-encashable.
Okay, thank you. Next, we move to Ching Leong, I believe. Yeah. Is there any highest priority alert or emergency that which won't happen in the future? If yes, what is the case and what action to take?
Huh. Yes. You have any example?
Yes, Ching Leong, you have any example, Ching Leong? Or you want to explain further?
Highest priority alert.
Ching Leong, are you there, Ching Leong?
I think we can take this question offline first, maybe.
Yeah.
Then got down it first. Yes.
Okay, maybe Ching Leong is very shy.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
Yeah, okay, Ching Leong, okay.
I think I have some problem about my mind. Just like what is the worst scenario that could happen in future if it's that case, then what is the solution?
I think maybe this one maybe could related to what just now the previous question by Zixiang, right? So if let's say the worst scenario is that the server crashed down. So it's always happen in the IT industry. And what is our prevention on that? So just now I think I also mentioned that we will have a DR server to be ready in an active ready state, so that when all these thing is happen, we will fail over to that DR server lah. But if you want to talk about the worst case, maybe we can go back to the country disaster, right? Whether our data center is being attacked or being damaged by natural disaster or human-made disaster. So all these are the so-called data center will need to place in different places, which means that maybe our current production server will be placed in Malaysia, but our DR server actually placed in Singapore, example. So wherever Malaysia happen some disaster, so we still able to recover everything in others country. If we wanted to, I mean, I hope that this is the answer that you wish to get it, right?
Okay.
Okay, we move on to Omar. If a customer stop using Etiqa Plus or becomes inactive, what should happen to their money, e-money balance in the wallet?
So again, I guess so if the customer chose to have that direct credit, auto credit, then of course at the stipulated time, then we would have the consent to be able to do that straight lah. So the customer will still be able to get their money at the end of the year or at the end of the period. If not, then we would have to go back to the manual way, which is to try and contact the customer or get their okay for us to transfer the money or remind them that they have money and they should do something about that. Those are the actions that will happen. In the event of certain cases, so for example, such as surplus sharing, if we are not able to contact the customer or if the customer does not claim the money, then we do need to submit that to unclaimed monies. That does go there after a certain period of time. So that would also happen to some of the balance in the wallet lah, when that happens. Of course, we try not to do that. So we will try our best to contact our customer. Be like, take your money, please.
Okay, then we move to Wei Gang. What controls are in place to prevent duplicated, in the case of a duplicated policy purchase?
I think there's two things we will make prevention on this thing to be happen now. I think first thing is our transaction interpotency control, right? So while they're making payment, usually we will have a unique key to actually validate whether it's duplicate or not. So if duplicate, we will reject that payment. This is in high level. And then the next thing is that we will always our system always have a purchase policy validation, meaning that we will looking at what policy actually you are buying to. Example, like let's say it's in motor, right? So first thing we will check with JPJ first whether you already have the policy and also the rules, the product specification, whether are you allowed to purchase in certain time. Example, like your car insurance, you are not allowed to purchase before the expiry of 3 months maybe. Then before that, when you purchase, then it will hit these rules and we will reject this, right? Before you make the payment. And then we will check if you already after before expiry of 3 months, then we allow you to purchase. So this is the prevention method that we trying to avoid the duplication payment and also duplication of the policy inside our system.
Okay. I hope that explain, Wei Gang. Next, move to Omar. Are there any specific conditions under which eMoney wallet must be suspended, closed, or transferred when a customer no longer has any active products with Etiqa?
Good question. So for now, this feature is actually available to anyone who has an Etiqa Plus account. So whether you are actually, in case you don't know, you can actually open an Etiqa Plus account even without an active policy. You don't need to have an active policy to have it. So you are actually able to explore the app without a policy. So in this case, if let's say the customer has no more active products, then they will still be able to access this feature, this module, and this wallet. If there is no money left, then there is no money left. If they decide to close their Etiqa account, then the entire feature will not be available to them as well. So in that event, then something I think the team and I will need to think about is, what happens then? Do we transfer all the money? Do we ensure all the money is transferred out before that happens in the midst of closing? So I think that's a good use case. We definitely need to think about that. Same, open to your suggestions if you have any. Yeah, does that answer your question? I hope it does.
Okay, then next, okay, I skip Fatimah question because it is not meant for our Etiqa team. All right, I move to Zisiang. Are there any limitations on the current core system or Maybank payment APIs? Will this impact the speed of the integration?
I think Huzaifa, you can explain how currently we implement our payment service, right? And some use case regarding the performance issue.
Payout service, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, just some overview about our core system. Our core system is the we consider as a legacy systems. So some are running on mainframe, some are running on Java. Okay, so depending on that stack, some only work on batch file. Some core system have APIs. So if batch normally will, of course, the integration will be more like a scheduler. Kind of integration is a schedule processing, but for API it can be real time. Okay, so you might consider that in your analysis. Maybank payment APIs, specifically for RCMS, there are certain window. Every day there are like 6 windows. Windows means the timing that they can process the payment file being sent. Okay, so they run on specific time, so they call it window. So whenever we want to send any payout, we have to just look for any window that is available within the day. If you miss that window, then it can be the next day batch, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I think with that, then it will depend on the timing. Yeah. I think that's what I can say. Mm. Mm.
Okay.
I think
Any add on? Okay. Is it Hasil?
maybe I know a little bit lah. Definitely the integration speed will be impact lah, right? Because uh, wherever we need to do the payment, right? And Etiqa is not the FI company, and we do not have a direct payment to the customer. So we actually need to leverage on our vendors solution. Example like just now what Huzaifa mentioned, the RCMS is belong to the Maybank, and then also when we're doing the payment, we actually are not how to say to directly develop on this API, but we leverage on mPay. So we are just pushing the data to the mPay, but the mPay actually is doing the real transaction to others bank, example like Maybank or others, Hong Leong Bank, right? So definitely this will create some integration, impact lah. But the real problem is that how we actually manage this thing, right? Is that currently we are just leveraging on the log because not every vendors company are try to leverage on the event driven, right? So to have more stable transaction, definitely event driven is the best solution for now. So yeah, so definitely right now is impact the integration speed, but how we moving on is that we also need to have a agreement lah with our vendors, how we actually improve our performance over there lah. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Then by Zisha, Bong Zisha, will payment amounts be auto-filled based on the selected plan or payout, or do user need to manually key in the amount?
I assume that this would be the payout when the customer wants to withdraw from the wallet. If not, then feel free to correct me. It will be manually keyed in. However, customers will have the choice to either withdraw in full, like your entire amount, or you can put in your own amount. So it won't be based off your plan, because when the money enters the wallet, it is considered paid out in a way. Like when you put in a claim and then you're supposed to get 1,000 ringgit. When it goes in there, that 1,000 ringgit is free for you to use however you wish. So if you want to keep it in there, just in case for your next travel plan and you want to use the amount, then you can keep it in there. If you want to just take out 10 ringgit, also can. If you want to take out the full 1,000, that is also fine.
Yeah, I think we also do really consider as in the manual input of the amount that you wanted to pay lah. We are not restrict the customer that they only can finish up the e-wallet, only they can use their own cash. So maybe if let's say you're going to purchase 200 ringgit policy, but you have 1,000 in e-wallet, right? Maybe you can put 100 to pay in e-wallet, and the rest you pay with cash lah. Yeah.
Okay. Then next by Wefa. Is there any user testing and feedback mechanism to ensure the app meets convenience and security expectations?
There's good if you wanna.
Yeah, I think the whole works of testing and verification would be in place just like any other project. So definitely we will go through the SIT, UAT, pen testing, and even piloting to ensure that the system works well as secured. So that is really part of the normal SDLC or project management processes. Maybe Jess, you can add on.
From let's say a concept point of view, so before we start building also, of course we do try to carry out as many feedback loops as we can with customers. So we do work together with our contact center, our helplines, all our email complaints. We actually do match it together with customer feedback. And of course, after we launch it as well, we do keep an eye on the feedback from customers that are coming in, the complaints. Yeah, so there are a lot of testings in place that may be invisible, but we have quite a few rounds.
Yep.
Okay. Then by Omar, will notification be displayed in the e-wallet app directly or sent to email?
I think I would just like to clarify that it's not an app. So it's not a separate app. This is a feature or a module that is within the Etiqa Plus app itself. That app is actually, I would call it an insurance app. You're able to pay, you're able to look at your claims, and you're able to do a lot of other things. This is one new feature that we're trying to introduce. So in terms of notifications, we will cover push notifications, of course, in-app notifications, and of course emails if the customer opted in for it. If not, then no.
Okay. Oh, we don't have any further questions.
Finally.
Yeah, I think if there's more questions, feel free to email to us.
Yep.
So that we don't deny anyone because they may have more questions after this session as well.
Maybe we call on 3. If there is any more question, okay, you guys please you can blast it now on 3.
Okay. They are trying to digest the terminology.
It was a lot of information.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eMoney is not that easy lah, even for us also, because finance term, right?
Agree. Because I think we start early just now for the Q&A session. We actually exceed the time that we allocate for the Q&A.
But that is a good session.
Yes, a good session. Any more? Last question maybe? No? Right.
One for the road.
But I really excited when Mr. Gadev mentioned SDLC just now, because that is very close to our student as well. The SDLC.
It's a standard process, yeah.
Okay, we have last another question by Omar. What information do you think internal teams often struggle to find today and should be made instantly visible in the new system?
Well, to be honest, the internal team has a lot of struggles actually, especially when it comes to operations, which is what we are trying to help with. I guess in terms of information, I suppose it's mainly on the verification or getting the payouts to customers quickly, efficiently, correctly. Because when that builds up, then that is where the struggle starts, because there's a build up or there's a very large backlog. It's instantly visible.
I think from customer perspective, information that will be visible, of course, their pattern of transactions from the eMoney. We get some idea as the customer would prefer with that having that money, they would be choosing a lot more of buying our products perhaps. Psychologically, when you have money in the e-wallet, you tend to keep it for the next purchase. So I mean, those kind of information would be available to us as well, which may not be so visible right now, apart from the system related, etc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think one more thing that I mean regarding this could be the consent, right? So how we actually make the consent so that our customer is happily willing to put their claim or all the surplus value amount to this e-wallet, and by not saying that we void the policy, right? Yeah. I think this is one of the biggest struggling today. And I think we just talked about this in our BCC meeting, right? And couldn't come in a very clear picture that how we actually wanted to perform this consent process.
I hope that answers your question, Omar. I don't know. That was
Yeah, because to be honest, IT can do everything. Or business and IT, we can show everything that we really want, a very fancy thing, but eventually come back to the relationship between the B&N and also the customer, right? So what we actually break the rules over there, right? Yeah, this is the biggest problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we move next to this Yang. What is the required encryption standard for customer data, transaction data, and wallet balances?
Encryption standard, we could call it, actually it's various, but standard thing that we use is in technical side, we always use the SHA-256 on this part. But we also are currently try to identify what's extent we wanted to move forward, so-called the encryption method. Are we going to encrypt until the column level, right? Which depend on different apps or different user that coming in. They could see the data. So, but then in standard industry, we always need to perform the encryption until the DB level, which means that when we trying to retrieve the data from our DB, we will encrypt those so-called PII, the personal identity information like NRIC, the account numbers, all these things to be encrypted until the client level. Only we will show it up in the platform. Yeah. But for customer data, definitely we will encrypt the PII information. But the so-called the transaction data or the wallet balance, I don't think there is a compliant, I mean, the policy saying that we have to encrypt right now. But the PII, yes, we have to encrypt. Yeah. From DB level, I'll start from DB level. Am I answer your question, Zixiang?
Okay, seems like no other question here. Okay, guys, any other questions that you want to ask to our industry partner here? Okay, by Jun Kiang. Under business in process, under in business in process aspect, where do most delays occur in the current payout approval and settlement process? Eddie, are there any manual cross checks that the system could automate? What process improvement would allow faster reinvestment of fund usage by customer? Basically, there are 3 questions here.
Okay, so currently the most, I think Huzaifa can add on later. But for this particular project, what we are trying to address is the delay in which customers have either invalid bank accounts or our system detects inaccurate or outdated bank account details or payout details. So this is what we are trying to do. Trying to address any manual cross checks that the system could automate. Yes, in terms of payout detail validation or having the latest details. Process improvements or fund usage. So in this case, it is with this project, which is to have this wallet so that our customers can use these funds or collect these funds into a consolidated amount and then use them to either pay for their next policy, offset their next policy, or to just take it out one lump sum.
Okay. If I can add to the first point, where do most delays occur? Yeah, I think in terms of the integration I've mentioned earlier. But if we can, if we look at the entire end-to-end process, normally the payout will require a bank account. So in some cases, for certain payouts, we don't have bank accounts available, or it could be very old policies, things like that, which we don't have the bank accounts, but we have to pay the customer. So the operation has to find out. So there could be processing or some lead time there. There are also cases where there's an invalid IDs. Okay, so actually there's a data gathering that has to happen, and in terms of the settlement process, hopefully I'm referring to the right term. So settlement, let's say we have made the payout to the customers. So sometimes we want we have a daily process called reconciliations, where we actually check the payouts again, the bank statement that we receive from Etiqa for all Etiqa accounts, making sure that those transactions that happen at the bank also align or also cross-check with our entry in the cost system. Yeah, so it's actually more like a settlement process. Yeah, so that's happen every day. The delay basically will be T+1 or T+2, depending on when the files or the bank statement is ready from the bank, and when we're gonna get the core system records for us to cross check both sides. Yeah, making sure it's tallied and processed correctly. Okay.
And I think to be add on for current Etiqa and also we are still leveraging on the legacy system. So a lot of things we are using a batch job that trigger from one system and then another system to pick it up. This is why the lead time actually is increase our lead time over here. So the process that we wanted to improve actually we are trying to that's why actually Etiqa are in the transformation as well to transform all this legacy system into microservices structure so that it actually will further increase the processing time, right? We are not leveraging on the batch process anymore, but we try to use real-time integration to get all the data and process all the data. Yeah. So maybe two thing we are trying to improve our process over here. One is microservices structure, and another one we call it event driven any cube message tools to further improve the improvement over here. Yeah. But in terms of business side, is like what Jess mentioned just now. Yeah.
Thank you. I think new Wei Jun question is being answered just now already. You need to watch the recording, okay, after this, because they mentioned about the operation team, the CEO, the IT team, compliance team, and also finance team that have their own specific business process. Okay, so I think you may come late. Any more question? Ask question, or maybe you want to Etiqa, you want to wrap up, or you want to respond to Wei Jun? But I think Zaifa did take up the role just now.
I think for this part, right, I think good if our side can give them a high level on architecture diagram. I mean the hierarchy diagram, right?
Yeah.
Usually, yeah, how we kick off a project, right? So we will have a hierarchy diagram, like who's supposed to do what. Yeah. So maybe Goodie side can provide this information to the students so that they have more clear picture on this because to be honest the team is quite big and there's a lot of department involved on all these things. Yeah.
We can compile all the materials as well as the what other after this workshop, any materials, any suitable, it's not confidential, that you guys would like for us to share, okay, to get more specific detail, process, clear, specific regulation, for example. Maybe we can discuss that in the WhatsApp group, okay, and we will pass to the student in the class, during the class. I'm waiting. Any more questions, students? Reach to 11:30 already. Hopefully all the questions being, or maybe if the questions not being properly answered or being responded, students can have that again, okay, by rephrase or expanding so that we pass to Etiqa team to get more clearer respond, clearer view on the specific question that's still not, we call it as a gray area lah for the student when they perform this system content analysis. Basically, the student already being exposed to the requirements type, okay, what are the objects that they need to analyze for this case study of eMoney. So this workshop is to confirm whether they can grab the idea of doing analysis. What are the related objects in terms of the stakeholder, the role, what are the documentation regulations, is there any system in operation, for example, the API system that they really need to know that will have some requirements for the analysis. Okay, is there any last question? I think that's all. I'm waiting Dr. Razia. Razia, okay.
Okay. So I think all the questions, there are no more further questions. So thank you very much to Etiqa team again for patiently answering all the questions. I think about 2 hours. We have about 2 hours, right? The Q&A session. Okay, then I call Dr. Noreen for the closing and wrap up of the session. Then after that, we will have a photo session. So everyone, please be ready to switch on your video. So since this is part of the attendance as well, evidence that you are present in the workshop, not other people. Okay, Dr. Noidi, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, especially for the active participation throughout these today's sessions. Okay, I think the question and insight definitely help us to enrich our understanding on the Etiqa eMoney platform. Okay, I should say part of the features in the Etiqa Plus, where a student should cache the customer journey explaining by Elicitation just now, and I think the alien terminologies or the glossary that the student as well, I think Dr. Azia and me also, okay, need to grab on it, okay, and shared by the partner also on the consideration about the regulatory specific from the Bank Negara and also the RIMT just now. Okay, and student should catch also the front end, the back end process involved in details, and maybe if still not detailed, still we have this gray area, we can go back to Etiqa and get confirmation. Okay, we really appreciate on the valuable input shared by our Etiqa industry partner, and we hope that from UTM's team, we hope that students gain the really clear, not clear lah, but meaningful perspective for their project deliverables after this. So I think that should be conclude our session today. Really thanks to the Etiqa team, okay, for the participation, for the question and answer session just now. Okay, so I think we can ask student to turn on the video. Raja, can you snap because my MacBook is...
Okay, I will snap page by page. Okay, so everyone ready? Okay, the second page is still many still missing. Make sure you guys turn on your video, because as I said, this is as evidence that you are present in this workshop. Okay, I start from first page. Okay, everyone ready? Okay, move to second page. Okay, third page. Okay, next page. Okay, last page. Okay, we are done.
I think that's all we can leave. We can end the session. Okay. Really thanks to team Etiqa teams. We can communicate further after this in the WhatsApp group. Okay. I think that's all. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy
Thank
weekend.
you. Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you,
Happy
Doctor.
weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.